Hi everyone, welcome back to the Violin Build, and so technically the next step should be working on the fingerboard, which is, hold on, okay, here's the fingerboard. It's a fingerboard blank and it needs a lot of work, but before I do that, there's been a problem all along with the peg box, and I don't know if you notice it or not, those of you watching, but this hole is too high. It needs to be lowered. That's an issue with the template that I use. This old template that I was using, I originally drilled the hole in the wrong place. It should have been a little bit lower, maybe a millimeter or two, and I failed to correct for that. But oh well, it's not difficult to fix. What I'm going to do is use a taper dreamer to ream that taper into that hole, and then I will fill it with I'll plug it with a boxwood plug and then re-drill the hole slightly lower. So and I want to make sure I get it reasonably straight, even though I'm going to fill it in anyway, but I'll try to go as straight as I can. If I'm going straight, it should go right into that hole on the other side. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it. That's more, keeping it straight is more important when actually fitting the pegs, not so much in bushing and filling in an errant peg hole. And I'm going to ream it just until the tip comes out that side. Get some of the wood off of it. I'm just starting to feel it come out that hole there. I don't want to go any further than I really need to, and I think that's far enough. Right, so what I'm going to do now is, this is a boxwood bushing, or peg hole bushing, and this is my peg taper shaver, and so I'm going to taper this down to fit in the hole that I just made, that I just tapered on the peg box. And this is going to take a while because this bushing is quite a bit oversized, so it's going to take me a little while to trim that down. I'll just show you a little bit of that. I may have to, that's taking some shavings, but I may have to take that blade off and sharpen it. Seems a little bit dull, but it is taking some shavings, as you can see there. Alright, I'll be back in a moment. I'll just show you taking some of the shavings off of the peg bushing. So that's what that does. And if you want to see how I really do it, it's kind of hard to hold it by hand and do it. But if you put it in a vise like this, and just set it down on top like that, adjust it slightly, and all you have to do is turn it. Just like a pencil sharpener. Look at the shavings coming off. still have a ways to go. So that's getting really close. It fits right in there. It's almost about to come out the other side. So what I'm going to do is once I get that perfectly fitted, I'm just going to cut it off here and cut out that section in the middle. And well, I'll glue it in first and then cut those sections out. And then I'll have just a filled in solid surface there, and I'll be able to re-drill the hole slightly lower. Alright, so I have gotten this side plugged. You can see it sticking out there. I already cut it off on the inside. All I have to do there is remove this part that's sticking out with a gouge. I'll use a gouge for that, and a gouge to remove this part that's sticking out in here and make it even with the inside of the peg box. This one is not glued in yet, but I've spent a little time tapering it and making it fit. So that's a good tight fit. Once I put some glue, it will extend slightly farther in than that, but again, I'll just use a gouge to remove the excess that's sticking out. And I'll saw this part off and use a gouge to remove the excess there. So that's where we're at with filling in the errant peg hole at the moment. So and once all that's done, then I'll have to carefully mark an exact spot for drilling for re-drilling the peg hole in the right place. So there's just a brief update. Right, so now I have this piece glued in. All I have to do is cut it off and make it flush with the outer surface of the peg box, and also I've already cut that piece off flush with the inside, and then I still have a piece sticking out there that needs to be cut off. So the first thing I'm going to do is just cut this piece off. And now what I'll do is just cut that extended part off. I'll cut it off smooth with the surface of the peg box, and also the part on the inside and this part. It splintered out just a little bit right there, but I can fix that later. I'll make a stop cut around so that doesn't happen again. That's just a little oopsie. But that's alright. We'll take care of it later. Now you might think that messes up the grain of the curly maple, but on most of the very old instruments, they have been re-bushed with peg bushings over the centuries, so that's a head start on antiquing. I need to sharpen my scraper. That side's sharp. This is horsetail equisetum. It's a plant that has silica in it, and it functions as a very fine abrasive. I'll go over the entire instrument with this before I put the finish on it. The center of these holes would have been right there, but the center really needs to be a couple of millimeters lower, like roughly about there. But I'll get a template, a better template, and mark those accurately on each side. But that's where we're at with it right now. Still have to cut away this part of the inside. You're not going to be able to see some of this, I don't think. Maybe I can keep it all in the camera. I'll try. There you go. Nice and smooth. I had to finish that off camera. I just couldn't do it right there. It was just too difficult to get a good camera view of that. So I went in and smoothed it off with the file like that. And so that takes care of plugging the hole. And next I'll be marking out and drilling a new hole.